want to talk a little bit about rock music and the current state of it. I haven't really cared about any new bands or any rock that's really been made over the last 10, 15 years. And I used to listen to rock all the time. It was a big staple in my life. What I think the problem is, I think that people have too many distractions to make good music nowadays, and the same goes for movies. I also think that these big record companies or movie companies, there's so much riding on their job. So if they make a wrong decision about bringing somebody that has like a different type of music, or something different, that's why you see a lot of rehashes of different movies that have been out before, or like continuations of franchises. Like, how many Spider-Mans have they made in since like the 2000, since the year 2000? I mean, what, they made like 9 or 10? How many Batmans? You know, it's the same thing. I think the people who are in charge are just afraid to make any huge decision that could cost them their job. So then you see a lack of creativity. And right now, pop has always been in the forefront of popularity. Right now it's rap. Everybody's all into rap, and rap's been pretty big the last 30 years. And for me, I just don't understand why people just are so into rap, because it all kind of just sounds the same. I like, what's his name, Tom McDonald. I like his views. I think he's awesome. I think he's highly talented. But when I'm listening to his music, it's like listening to the same song over and over again. He's just got different lyrics. He kind of, it's like the same type of thing. It's not the same beats, or it's just like a little different variation, you know. And it's not very diverse. With these rappers, like, there's no diversity in there, in my opinion. I don't really follow rap though, so I'm not an expert. I just hear like people bumping their rap music when they drive by, and it's just like the same thing. And you can say the same about any genre of music, like punk or metal. A lot of the songs sound very similar. But at some point, like, rock is dead right now, in my opinion. In the mainstream, anyway. I'm sure there's plenty of rock bands out there that are doing their thing in the underground that a lot of people just don't know about. For instance, I don't have a rock band, but I have created songs. I didn't create the music, but I created the songs. I just edited. So you really don't even need to you don't even really need to have a band to create music nowadays. And honestly, it's kind of a detriment to you to be a musician and to have a band, because you have to split the royalties amongst the crowd, not the crowd, but the band members. So if you got a 4-piece band, that's 4 ways. You got to, divide your money. So it's almost better just to be a solo artist, right? And then if you're gonna go on tour, or if you're gonna perform live, you almost want to kind of rent the band. But you got to be popular at that point, unless you're just gonna do it for fun. Like, if you're gonna try to make money off of being a musician, Obviously, in this day and age, it's not off of CD sales because we don't have CDs. It's more off of selling merch and touring. I think we're gonna have a rock influenced songwriter, musician, whatever they are, influencer, a major one that comes out, but it's not going to be a conventional one. These people in the past have been like, they start out small. They might start out in a band, you know, like the big dogs, like Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, Marilyn Manson, Led Zeppelin, you know, these big, the Doors. They started out at small shows, and they started out as a band, pretty much probably doing it for fun. But now, I just think that it's highly likely, and I don't know if this might not happen, that the person who becomes, because there will be, I think that there will be another major influencer that's looked at as a rock legend one day. I don't know, they could be out there right now, but I think they're gonna build their own brand. I think that social media will play a good platform to it, to gain in their popularity. And it's almost gonna be in reverse, where they're a desktop musician. Maybe they play all their own instruments, but they don't tour. They don't play in front of people. They put out music and all that, but they have other things, other forms of art, where they might make videos, right? You know, they might make TikToks. Like, they're gonna gain their notoriety from social media, and then like, they're big, right? They become a big name. Then they go out and tour. It's gonna be backwards, I think. But I think that there will be another big, gigantic, major rock influencer that just captures the audience, that captures the youth. I wanted it to be me for the longest time, especially when I was younger. But for me, yeah, I make my music and I do make videos, but I'm old and I don't have the time to dedicate myself fully to the art. And also this person will be way more intelligent than me. They'll be able to be more charismatic than me and way more artistic than me. They'll be more creative. So as much as I wanted it to be me in the past, or currently would like it to be me, I know that I just don't have what it takes to be at that level. But there is somebody out there that will gain popularity. They will crush this music stagnation, because this is what we're in. We're at a music stagnation right now, and they're gonna do it completely independently, in spite of the big record companies. It's gonna be from the ground up, and they're not gonna have to worry about some record company telling them what to do. They're gonna be able to do whatever the hell that they want. So that's my opinion. You know, there's some rock bands that I used to listen to that come out with newer stuff, and honestly, I don't want to listen to their stuff. Like, I think Korn came out with something recently, but it's like, these bands that were big when I was younger, I might want to just go to see if I've never seen them before, but I really don't. If you're rich and famous, what do you really have to complain about? And that's like rap too. It goes for any musician. Like, I think that struggling really it really helps musicians get it out. I think when people go through major struggles, they produce like the best type of content or music, because a lot of it is like just getting out your frustrations and venting from the pain and suffering that you've went through. And what are you really going to complain about if you're Korn at this day and age? I mean, I guess you can complain about maybe being like if a relationship didn't work out or something like that. But that's kind of been, it's like beating a dead horse at this point, making songs about complaining about girls. You're rich and famous. Like, there's not, I guess you can complain about being isolated, but what do you really got to complain about? Like, there's not anything to complain about. You don't really have any struggle. You got all the money in the world. You don't have to be a normal person. You don't have to go through the struggle. And like, you can maybe like you can abandon your life and then put on some kind of like disguise or mask and then go out into the world and try to recreate that struggle of a regular person. But in the back of your mind, you're gonna have it in your head that you got the safety net behind you. So it's not really, you can recreate it to a certain extent, but you can leave that situation, that hell that you're in, at any point, as opposed to somebody that's a starving artist that they can't leave that hell. They don't have a backup plan. They don't have anything like that. So it's just more authentic. And at some point, there might be a couple that come out around the same time, rock influences that get people back into it. And I also think that rock music, I think it just might kind of go backwards. I think that it might just, I mean, there's only so much you can do. It's pretty much being plagiarized. I've heard Kurt Cobain say that music, and that was back when he was still alive, and he was saying like everything's pretty much been plagiarized and all that. I think that you just might go backwards into it's just like in reverse, kind of like our society. We're going back into reverse, where somebody picks up a genre and then it just, it goes backwards. So I don't know, that might not happen. Rock might be completely dead and never be revived. But what people don't understand is there is a angry generation of Zoomers and Alpha that are pissed off. So there is a market for these people, for the youth, for them to relate. One of my major influencers when I was younger was Kurt Cobain, and I want to be just like him. But I could really relate and resonate to what he was going through, to what he went through in his life. Not so much where like with the drugs and all that, but just the suffering that he endured, the suffering and unnecessary things that happened to him as a child. It might not have been the worst, like you got an extreme where you're like missing limbs, or you got like mentally challenged kids or something like that, or you're starving, like you're literally starving to death. You haven't got, you know what I mean? Or like that one guy that was found at the bottom of the ocean after 3 days of the boat being, like, that's literal hell. You're just in darkness, cold, wet, not knowing if you're ever gonna be found. That's literal hell. So like I made a video yesterday, complaining, and I do have it better than a lot of people in this world. Like I'm not, but there's a certain type of stress that these people don't have to deal with that I have to deal with. But anyway, so like that, I think that rock music will make a comeback in some type of way, and the person will be he'll be diverse, or they'll be majorly diverse in their music, and it's going to be really, really good and on point type of stuff. Yeah.